An exclusive in the Montreal Gazette this morning, and it comes from our next guest. The headline, Santé Québec accused of gaslighting public on heart surgery stats. Now, when Santé Québec took over the publishing of health data, such as the number of patients waiting for heart surgery, the numbers saw a dramatic drop. But was that drop real? Or was it just massaging of numbers? Let's try and find out. Aaron Derfel, investigative reporter over at the Gazette, is on the line. Aaron, you are always welcome here. Thanks for coming on today.
Good morning, Elias.
Tell our listeners what you write about today in the Gazette.
Yes, so it's bizarre when you look at the chart, and this is something, it's a dashboard that the former health minister, Christian Dubé, set up to track the health system better, but he also did it to make this data more transparent to the public. When you go on the website, you see the wait times dropping off like a cliff. You think that's great, but then this is why I decided to dig into this, and I wanted to speak to the cardiac surgeons in the field. What are they noticing? And they told me that the crisis is actually getting worse. Because there's a shortage of nurses, but more to the point, a shortage of perfusionists. Those are the professionals that run the heart and lung machines for a triple bypass, and they don't have enough of them, so they can't do as many surgeries as they would like, which means that there are some patients who are on wait lists who might die of sudden death, and that's happening. And so the situation is dire. And when you look at the stats, it looks like the opposite. So what's happened here is that the Montreal Heart Institute, for whatever reason, it stopped providing the data. It's switching from one system to the other. But it raises the question as to why even publish something that is so decidedly misleading. They could have published something, because they've done that for other things. Well, data not yet available, or data under construction.
Let me point this out, and you provide the charts here, you provide the graphs in the Gazette in your piece, right? And it does look staggering. You see, all of these indicators at the same level basically for 2 years in a row, as far back as the data goes for this chart, and then boom, at one point, like you said, falls off a cliff. Any layperson looking at this saying, "Oh my God, Quebec is tackling delays." So, where are these numbers coming from?
And you have to understand, it's also doing that you see that for other things, like there's a debate as to whether the number of patients who are waiting more than a year for other types of operations, whether there's been as dramatic a decrease as there has been. There's some debate about that. But you see that if you look at it, you think, okay, well, look, Santé Québec is doing a fantastic job. It's really got it seized our healthcare system and it's improving things. And so I just wanted the public to know about this, to highlight it, and to get some accountability from Santé Québec. We have two systems managing healthcare, right? I mean, or two agencies. You have the health ministry, and then you have Santé Québec. You didn't used to have that before. You just used to have the health ministry. And when the health ministry had the dashboard, the data was more complete. Again, for the life of me, I don't understand why this is the case. The only thing it's a coincidence. It was last summer that I wrote about, first started writing. Well, I wrote about this problem even like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, but I followed up last summer, and the surgeons were saying, we can't get straight answers out of Santé Québec on things. The situation is really, really bad, and there are patients who are dying of sudden death on these wait lists. And then we see shortly after publication of that article, the numbers dropping. And I'm speaking to both like heart surgeons and cardiologists, and they're saying that in other provinces, the data is much clearer. There's no lag time in Ontario or say New Brunswick, when you have a much better idea of the situation.
We're with Aaron Derfel from the Montreal Gazette, investigative reporter there. Got a piece out this morning, an exclusive for the Gazette, that looks at wait times for heart surgery and the data that Santé Québec provides on it. What's the response here from Santé Québec? You know, because Aaron, you've heard the saying, lies, damn lies, and statistics. So what's Santé Québec saying about why this data changed? What's their explanation?
Okay, so initially they told me to contact the Institut de Cardiologie de Montréal, or the Heart Institute, and then the Heart Institute. I just got nothing but questions from them. I spoke with a person, and then a spokesperson for Santé Québec contacted me and wanted to know what I was talking about. Frankly, needed to be educated on the subject. I couldn't understand that. So I explained everything to her. And then, I don't know if it was around 7 o'clock last night, I got an email statement, one paragraph statement, and it's just bureaucratic. I mean, I'll read from it. You know, the drop in requests for heart surgery is due to the ramping down of data from the SGAS information system to the SIMASS Opera system.
What the heck does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we know this. There are different computer systems, different ways of compiling data. But what they could have done, as they've done for other things, they're saying data not available for operational reasons or something. And then I would have written about that too. But I don't understand. It's the end of March. This has been up for a while now. Why is it taking so long to do this? You know, for every other hospital that does heart surgery, and many hospitals do heart surgery, the data is being provided, but not by the Institut de Cardiologie. And they were kind of still at a loss to explain, because I asked them, can you give me your data? I'm still waiting for the data on wait times. And, you know, my guess is that when you look at the chart, if you fix the data, then you will not see the numbers dropping off a cliff. You'll see them going up, down, maybe even going up, and so it's just a question about transparency. You'll recall I wrote a story a few months ago that Santé Québec, its website, it has very little English, if at all.
Yeah.
But health, the Ministry of Health has an English tab on its website. And even Hydro-Québec, again, you can get information in English, maybe not as much, but you can. But, Santé Québec appears to be taking its time.
That's right, huh? Like, hydro outages, fully bilingual. We use it all the time, right, in these power outage situations. But Santé Québec, which is like supposedly the one thing, we're not going to touch your English health services. They've been very slow on that front.
Yes, so what they're saying is, they've been given some time to make the adjustments, But in my communications, for example, with them, everything is always in French, and I don't mind. But when it comes to health, there are Quebecers, older Quebecers perhaps, who are not so comfortable in French, and they want to be able to see some information in English. And again, this medical dashboard, all the information is in French. So the overarching question is, why isn't Santé Québec being as transparent as it could be? And is there a connection between that and perhaps a motivation to make it seem that it's really doing a good job?
You can check out Aaron's piece in the Montreal Gazette today. It's titled Santé Québec Accused of Gaslighting Public on Heart Surgery Stats. By Aaron, by the way, the new Gazette website looks really nice. Good job. You did that, right? Was that you working behind the scenes?
No. As you can see, I when it comes to visuals, that's not my strength by any means. But thanks for giving us a plug. Everyone listening, just go on the Montreal Gazette website.
Okay, take care. Thanks so much, Aaron.
My pleasure.
Okay.
Come on, experience Bruno Mars live in Toronto.
Guess who's back again?
iHeartRadio wants to send you and a friend with flights from tripcentral.ca. 2 nights at Sheridan Centre, Toronto. Tickets to Bruno Mars and $1,000 cash.
Don't believe me, just watch.
Download the free iHeartRadio app. Listen to iHeart New Music for 10 minutes.
I'm coming to get you.
Win your way to Bruno Mars.
Will you be there?
Oh, I just might.
Every day you listen is another chance to win.